Hi, welcome to the Real Slim Katie channel on YouTube. I'm Katie, and this is episode 3 of my vlog series, Taming the Beast. This episode is entitled, Babies, Depression, and Opioids. If you're new to the channel, I have a 21-year case history here, 1,300 pages of 32 diagnoses and 50 prescriptions I've received over the course of the 21 years, such as OCD, borderline personality disorder, and depression, along with physical ailments like fibromyalgia, severe obesity, and addiction problems such as opioid addiction and severe alcoholism. If you missed episode 2, I covered the years between 1999 and 2006. Shortly after dropping out of college, I met the man who would become my husband and the father of my 3 children. We were married in December of 2003, and shortly thereafter, I decided to try to become a police officer. I failed a key component of the psych evaluation. I was repeatedly urged to reapply by the recruiting officer for the police department, but ultimately I denied his requests. I let my pride get in the way of an opportunity for a great career. Episode 2 ended with me finding out I was pregnant with my first child. This video starts shortly after the birth of my first child in October of 2006. I ignored the advice of my natural birthing consultants. I let my fears of complications consume me, and once again, I deferred to higher authority, letting the medical team rush the process, which ended up being a high anxiety, incredibly painful affair that lasted 47 hours. I'll be discussing the births of my 3 children in a future vlog series, which will be covering labor and delivery issues. 5 months after the birth of my first child, I find myself back at the doctor for depression and anxiety symptoms. I am having irrational fears of either him or myself dying in strange and unusual ways. Falling downstairs, hitting our heads on the wall, things that wouldn't normally happen to people. I'm finding myself consumed by thoughts of these things happening. Once again, the only response from the medical team is to prescribe me yet another medication. This time it's Wellbutrin. I am now 26 years old, and this is the 5th psychotropic medication I have been prescribed. I decide to return to work as an administrative assistant. I work 20 hours a week. The extra money is helpful for the family, and I enjoy getting out of the house. However, I continue my compulsive eating plans, and I find that I've picked up a new bad habit: impulsive spending, otherwise known as retail therapy. I was always searching for something to buy. It didn't matter what it was, as long as I was spending and getting out of the house. These spending patterns caused significant conflict with my husband, as it greatly impacted our finances. Shortly after beginning work as an administrative assistant, I find out I'm pregnant with my second child. By the time I deliver my second child in March of 2008, my weight had ballooned to 330 pounds. I spent my days caring for my children. I struggled with spending habits and resentment I felt for my husband. He worked outside the home, and I was jealous of the social interaction he got with coworkers. I began to become aggressive towards him, and nothing he could do was ever right. I returned to the doctor, once again with symptoms of depression. This time I receive a new diagnosis: postpartum depression. I had hoped that the Wellbutrin would help with my depression symptoms, and although I was no longer crying constantly, I was becoming aggressive towards my husband and those around me. Staying at home with 2 small children was proving to be more difficult than I thought it would be, and I began to get restless in my life. I feel like I have a lot to offer the world, and I can't do it from the comfort of my living room couch. After much consideration and discussion with my husband, I decided to begin school in the fall of 2008. I do incredibly well in one particular class. That class is chemistry. I do so well, in fact, that I have the highest A out of 72 people, and my instructor encourages me to switch my major from nursing to chemistry. I'm feeling that the future is bright, and I'm very excited for a career in chemistry because it's something I'm passionate about and it comes naturally to me. Shortly after switching my major from nursing to chemistry, I was surprised to find out I was pregnant with my third child. After much consideration, I make the tough decision to finish out the term and quit school. In addition to the depression and anxiety symptoms I'm experiencing and the compulsive overeating and obesity, I began to experience pain in my abdomen and I seek medical treatment. I am diagnosed with gallstones. The pain I experience from the gallbladder attacks is like nothing I've ever gone through in my life. It was more painful than giving birth to any of my 3 children. Once at the hospital, I'm admitted and kept overnight for observation. I receive intravenous morphine and oxycodone tablets. The feeling I get from the opioids is like nothing I've ever felt before. It's a relaxing, calming feeling. It seems to help me forget about the problems in my life. Everything seems a little brighter and better while I'm taking them. I feel like the best version of myself. I had no way to know at that point what this all meant. But I left the hospital having encountered 2 substances that would one day nearly cost me my life. Those substances were Percocet and morphine. In the next episode, I will be covering the years between the birth of my 3rd child, the onset of my severe opioid addiction, and the underlying factors contributing to my stark mental decline and my first hospitalization in a psych ward. Thank you for watching. If you like my story, please take the time to like and subscribe and leave any comments you might have. Have an inspired day.